Hello friends, today I am going to reveal some true facts of Pluto and the rest of the Kuiper belt. But first of all, I request you to please share and subscribe my channel for getting my informative true facts videos uninterrupted. Now, when scientists discovered that something was wrong with the orbit of Uranus, its rate of motion didn't match that expected from Newton's law of gravitation, then either Newton's law were wrong or there was another planet perturbing things. An extra planet was independently predicted by John Adams in 1843, but both he and English astronomers were not that interested. Urban Leverrier 1846 also predicted, looked for and found by John Gall, considered a trump for modern mathematics. Uranus was not the only planet with unexpected motions. Mercury's orbit also couldn't be explained. Again, either Newton's law were wrong or there was another planet perturbing things. Massive hunt for the planet Vulcan between the Mercury and the Sun. In this case, there was no planet. It turns out that Newton's law are slightly wrong, as Einstein's theory of general relativity can explain Mercury's motion without an extra planet. Vulcan was a dead end, but not the only dead end. It was not the only dead end. Something was still wrong with the orbit of Uranus and Neptune, both. A speculation about the 10th planet builds, then that planet 10's main proponents was Percival Lowell, the canals on Mars guy. Searches for planet 10. Late 19th and early 20th century. Lowell dies, but this work continues. A new technology makes the search for planet 10 possible at that time. Photographic plates were first attached to telescopes in 1890s. They are not superseded by CCDs until the 1980s, lead to discovery of many asteroids, new moons at that time. A blink comparator shows up moving objects. Stars don't move enough to notice. Asteroids move very fast. Compared to a star. Outer solar system objects move very slowly. Clyde Tombaugh found a new outer solar system object in 1930, working from Lowell Observatory. He looked at millions of stars to find this moving point. With the hind-side planet 10 was found in previous plates. Orbit was well determined and was larger than that of Neptune. Named Pluto, partly in honor of Percival Lowell, Pluto. Did Pluto fit the bill? It is the question. Quirks in the orbits of Uranus, explained by uncertainty in Neptune's mass. Pluto had no resolvable disk. It must be very small, nothing like another Neptune's. Pluto was dim, either very small and bright or large and dark. Detection of methane ices in 1970s meant it was small and bright. It was much smaller than any other planet. Whether it was really a planet looked more like Triton than anything else. It made semi-major axis 39.5 AU, periods in 248 years. Neptune is 30 AU. The orbit of Pluto is also odd, highly inclined, about 0 to 17 degrees. Eccentricity is high, equal to 0.25. Pluto's orbit looks more like an asteroid's orbit than a planet's. Pluto's orbit looks more like an asteroid's orbit than a planet's. It is so eccentric that it crosses Neptune's orbit. Pluto length from 29.6 to 49.3 AU from the Sun. Neptune is more or less constant at 30 AU. The question is, why doesn't Pluto collide with Neptune? Why does not Pluto collide with Neptune? Pluto is in a 3:2 resonance with Neptune. Neptune orbits 1.5 times for every one of Pluto's orbits. Neptune is always far away from Pluto when Pluto crosses inside its orbit. Neptune is always far away from Pluto when Pluto crosses inside its orbit. This is a very stable arrangement. Pluto characteristics. It is very small, about 0.18 Earth. Diameter is 2300 kilometers. Low mass, about 0.002 Earth, density of 2000 kilogram m to the power minus 3, 50 to 70% rock, 30 to 50% water ice is there. Surface composition, frozen ices, mostly nitrogen, methane, and little graved ethane, carbon monoxide. Pluto's atmosphere, detected with a stellar occultation, very thin atmosphere of mostly nitrogen, like Triton. Pluto is currently receding from the sun. This atmosphere might freeze out as surface ice soon, a decade. Pluto is not alone. Large moon Charon, discovered in 1978, 1,200 km across, half of Pluto, 17,500 km distant, about 6.4 day orbit. Very circular orbit. Sometimes called a double planet. Both Pluto and Charon are tidally locked to each other. The same face of each body point towards the other all of the time. No tidal effects is there. Chiron less dense than Pluto, less rocky materials, less geological activity, mass of 12% of Pluto. Lower mass means no atmosphere. Has no atmospheric ices like nitrogen. Surface dominated by water and ice. Evidence for a very recent cryovolcanism, crystalline ammonia hydrated and waters. Loses crystal structure in 30,000 years. We will well known a lot more in 6 years. A spacecraft to fly by schedule. Other moons discovered Nix and Hydra, 20 kilometers size range. Pluto condensed directly out of the solar nebula. Carbon went into CO. Oxygen starved nebula had less water ice. Pluto is quite rock rich, 65 to 70%. Glancing impact generated Charon. Charon has a spiral outward due to tidal effects. Other small moons exteriors to Charon. Back to 1930s. Pluto recap, eccentric and inclined orbit, weird size of the other planet systems, and ice rock planet beyond the gas giants. Enough for people to consider Pluto as an anomaly. Another problem weighing on the people's mind. Where did comets comes from? Comets in the inner solar systems shouldn't last long. Similar to the problems of resupplying the near-Earth asteroids. They get resupplied from the asteroids belt. Logical resolutions. There is a comet belt beyond Neptune, proposed by Edgeworth in 1943 and Kuiper 1951. The Edgeworth-Kuiper belt. First Kuiper belt objects, Kuiper belt objects KBO found in the 1992, Jevich and Lyon. 1992 QB1. Now there are over 1,000 known Kuiper belts. A flat but fat disk of object like this asteroid belt. And what about Pluto? Now just a big Kuiper belt objects. The spatial 3:2 resonance with Neptune is shared by many objects called Plutinos. Scattered disk objects have perihelion that approaches Neptune, an unstable arrangement. They get perturbed into smaller orbits between the giant planets and centaurs, called centaurs. Later become Jupiter family comets. Composition. Much like Pluto, probably much like Neptune's moon Titan. Bulk ice, rock compositions, maybe some thin atmosphere is there in Kuiper belt. Collisions might play an important role. Freshwater ice is blue. Fast the objects have more collisions. Faster is equal to higher eccentricity and inclination. These faster objects tend to be bluer. Some Kuiper belt objects are large enough that we might expect interesting surface process. Quasar was the crystalline water ice on its surface indicating heating events. Now, current estimates is about 0.1 Earth masses in the Kuiper belt, more than the asteroid belt. Bigger objects. Models suggest it should have started with 100 times this. 99% of the Kuiper belt is missing at present. The Kuiper belt also seems to have a sharp outer edge. Kuiper belt was affected by giant planet migration. Neptune thought to have drifted outwards. Captured some Kuiper belt object in the 3:2 resonance like Pluto. Captures one as a moon, Titan. Ejects the other into the inner solar system, where Jupiter tosses them into the interstellar space and allows Jupiter to migrate inwards. Is this unusual? Not really. Other solar systems have icy debris disk much like our own. So is Pluto a planet is the question. Is Pluto a planet? Not really. It is just one of a large swarm of similar objects. Not even the largest one. Now a planet must orbit. Orbit the sun. Be in hydrostatic equilibrium, that is enough gravity to be found. Enough gravity. Have cleared its neighbors of small bodies. It is hunt for planet 10 yielded Pluto in 1932. A small ice rock planet beyond the gas giants. And a Melas orbit puzzle people at the time resonance with Neptune. Tenuous nitrogenous atmosphere that might freeze completely as Pluto recedes from the sun. Pluto has the large moon by comparison. The Edgeworth Kuiper belt objects started to be discovered in the 1990s, fall into three dynamical classes. Classical belt, Cubanus after Cubanus, classical belt, it was classical belt, Cubanus after 1992 QB1, and resonant population, Plotinos after Pluto. A scatter disk produces our supply of comets. Kuiper belt is a 1% remnant that survived Neptune's migration. In my next video, I will give you some more details of other interesting topics. Thanks.